Welcome aboard.
Hello and welcome to what is the I guess the first episode of Lost Connections, our podcast for ConnectFest. I'm your host Gabe, along with
Curtis.
And Peyton.
and we're just here to sort of introduce ourselves and introduce the team and let you know a little bit about ConnectFest and what we're doing this podcast for, basically. So if you wanted to let the people know a little bit, sorry.
Yeah,
About yourself.
I'm Curtis. I'm part of the podcast team for ConnectFest. Also part of the Instagram team and our kind of general content creation team. So the Instagram is not up and running yet as of now. Maybe when you're hearing this, it might be, but as of right now, the Instagram and all of our other social medias are still dormant. Peyton, let's hear a little about yourself.
I'm Peyton. I am only part of the podcast team because both of the teams I was in joined.
Nice one.
Okay, so I'm Peyton. I am only part of the podcast team because all of my other teams disintegrated into this one. I only really know about the podcast team, but I'm going to start working on my exhibition soon, so I'm really excited for that one.
Yes, and I'm Gabe. When I'm not being student council vice president, I am part of the podcast team, website team, and the Twitter team, along with Alon, who you'll meet in a second. And other than that, I'm also working on an installation. And yeah, if you guys I know we wanted to talk about like what ConnectFest is, because not everyone knows what ConnectFest is. Mm-hmm. The only people that should know what ConnectFest is are the grade 12s and us, because we're organizing it.
We're special.
Pardon?
Because we're special.
That too.
Hope so.
I hope so too. So basically, just ConnectFest, in short, it's sort of what it sounds like. It's us connecting with all the other students within our school through media art and other types of installations that you'll be seeing in June. When's the date again?
June
9th?
June 9th.
I think it's June 9th.
Yeah. And that as of now, that is the date. Yeah. And we didn't have a lot of questions. We'll get to that after. But right now I just wanted to do a quick introductory to our other members. You want to lift your mic?
Let's get our director, the man behind the camera, Alon.
Make sure you're looking into the mic.
Fun, Alon.
Hey. I'm doing the editing work for the podcast as well as co-managing the Twitter page with Gabe over here. I'm Alon. You can recognize me with the headphones basically everywhere you go.
And then we've got our producer, Liam. Let's get him over here.
Hello, I am Liam. I am the one who's sort of getting all the equipment for this and making sure it runs smoothly as best as I can.
And then we've got our production assistant, Cooper.
Hello, I'm Cooper, and I help with the structure and setting up of the podcast.
And then Mari doesn't really have a title yet, but we'll let her introduce herself.
She's also the logo that you'd see in the intro. She is designing that. I'd like to note.
I don't know what I do either, but I'm just kind of here.
Yeah, look
Hello.
at that.
Great.
And then there's another person in the room, but they don't need introducing because they're not special.
All right, great. So this is going to be a shorter episode, obviously, because we don't have a guest, right? So we can't really build off of anything. But something I wanted to ask you guys as fellow hosts, what are your we'll go like this, like you and then me. What are your expectations and what are you planning? Like, just give us a little insight on ConnectFest, just so people know. You know what I mean? It's very vague. So
Yeah.
just take it how you want it.
Okay. Well, for ConnectFest, I'm kind of expecting I'm expecting people to get vaguely interested in the arts. I don't think there's going to be a lot of student interest at first. I feel like as the event goes on, as we roll out more promotional, it might be a bit more, but I don't expect that big of a turnout. And I think it's just because people are busy and it's a Thursday night. So, yeah.
Yeah, Connect Fest, it's a really cool idea. We'll see how it plays out. In 2019, when it was first held, it looked like we had a pretty good turnout. Although I didn't attend, I don't know if you guys attended. But yeah, this year we're hoping to kind of bring it in to kind of a new 2 years post Connect Fest, and kind of help everybody showcase their work and bring it to our community.
Yeah. And for me, like in terms of what I'm expecting, like when I sort of just meant like for yourself, like if you wanted to re-answer the question, you can do that after, but I'll go. I guess I'll go. So what I'm expecting is, like, obviously I want to run my own installation. I have a lot planned for that. It's going to be based, I'm going to give like my title. It's Dinner with Duende. And it's basically someone who's born here, their perspective on their home country's culture, just by word of mouth and what I've learned from my parents. So that's what it's gonna be, and I'm expecting a lot from this podcast. Like I really think it's a good idea. I like the team that I'm with, great company, especially the people behind the camera. Love them. So yeah, if you guys wanted to re-answer your question.
Okay, I guess I will. Personally, I like majority of the team I'm with. Someone over here, a bit of a narcissist, but whatever. I'm expecting for my my installation, I'm trying to do something based around my mental health and my connection with music, which is probably the most basic white girl thing I've ever said. Chris, what do you want to say?
I have no clue what installation, if I'm gonna do one. If I'm even going to show up to the event. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully I can.
You're not showing up?
I don't know, maybe.
You're part of the podcast. You have to show up.
Cut that part out and edit.
Cut that bit out.
Because we can't say that he's not showing up.
Yeah.
Might be a little
like, yeah, you're not doing an installation, but like, what do you expect? Especially because you're running multiple things.
Yeah.
What are your expectations in terms of how it's going to play out the way you're planning it?
Hopefully we can kind of use the event. I don't really know how it's going to run and where it's going to take place within our school. Mm-hmm. If it's going to be like more of an outside thing or an inside thing, food, kind of drinks and stuff like that, if that's going to take place. And yeah, I think that we could use the event and the mass of people that's going to hopefully show up to kind of squeak out a little more content for you guys and to see a little bit more behind the scenes of stuff you may not have seen if you attended the event. And to kind of, to give everybody an experience, even if they can't attend.
All right. And another question I had for my fellow hosts, and maybe we'll ask the people behind the camera as well. Who are you most excited to see on the podcast if we can get them?
Oh my God. I am so excited to see my friend Jabez. I think he's great at animation. I think he's really great at everything. He's vaguely annoying, but he's really fun to talk to. Love you, Jabez. What about you guys?
I think I really want to hear from Miss Chiara and Miss Mistacado, just because obviously they're helping us organize it now, but in 2019 they were the ones who put it together and thought of the idea initially. So I want to hear their take on how it's going in terms of the year before, the last year that they did it, and this year. Probably we'll have them twice, so we'll have them we'll have them near the beginning, and I want them at the end when we're nearly done everything.
Yeah, for like a final wrap up episode.
Yeah,
at the end of Connect Fest, like how it compared. After everything's all said and done.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Kurt?
I want to see whoever does end up designing the logo on the podcast for sure, and to get a couple people with different installations from different departments in our school on the podcast, and maybe some teachers as well who may have experienced other events and how Connect Fest stacks up against them.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and for the people at home, I don't know how we're gonna do this yet, but we're gonna have a poll up. Hopefully, when the Instagram's up, we're gonna have a questions open on stories, and we're gonna ask you who you want to see on the podcast, and if it's as much as possible, we're gonna try to make it happen. Just because obviously we want it to be interesting for the people watching. So if it's people that you don't necessarily want to see, we don't expect you to watch the podcast.
Just get Drake on here.
Oh, yeah. If we get Aubrey Graham on making connections,
Yep.
great. And
Yeah, it was
yes.
by Jersey's house a couple weeks ago.
for sure.
Maybe knock on his door, see what's up.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, great.
That's
So that's enough for explaining what Connect Fest is going to be. I sort of wanted to talk about how this podcast is going to be structured. So obviously, it's not going to be like our episode 0 because we don't have a guest. You may not see all of the hosts at one time, just to let you know.
Yeah, it might be a running carousel of hosts.
For sure. And I just wanted to make a note that whenever you hear the sound, there's going to be a 30-second segment where we make connections. So it's basically like word association. Like, say if I said, Peyton,
Yes.
orange.
Banana.
There you go. And that's making connections. That's our segment. And that's just you'll hear it. There's no like given time where it will happen in the episode. It'll just randomly happen, and that will be our fun time.
Okay.
Maybe hopefully to bring more serious discussion and to bring light to the episode a little bit.
And yeah, besides that segment, question and answers, and kind of having a live polls and stuff for our guests and for ourselves. That's going to be a big part of how we interact with you guys, because we want you guys to be a part of the podcast and not just watching it.
Yes. And if we ever have anyone that's musically inclined on the podcast, we are going to ask you to sing.
Yeah.
Sing or play whatever instrument you have. And if you don't do it live, we're going to have a video of it up. Just for sure. For sure.
We're gonna yell at them if they don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will.
Peyton's gonna like
belittle you.
I'm gonna personally go to your house, and I'm gonna knock on your door. I'm gonna have dinner with you and your family, and then I'm going to call you out in the middle of that dinner.
That's the type of commitment that our team has.
Yeah.
I'm very committed.
All right. I think that's it.
Yeah, it wraps
Yeah,
it up.
pretty much.
We'll see you guys next week.
Yes.
Okay.
Don't lose connection. Signing out.
Peace.